So today we have Dr. Joy Fremont on the spotlight. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Girl, I'm so excited to get through this. I was looking through like preparing my notes and everything, and I'm like, oh my God, we just have so much to talk about. I got 4 pages of notes. I'm like, oh my goodness. So let me just get through the bio. And so it's extensive. So this is to you. So, an Atlanta native, Dr. Joy Fremont attended Southern University and A&M College, SU,
SU.
in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. She's a graduate of Marquette University School of Dentistry and has over 26 years of experience practicing dentistry in the Atlanta area. She received her doctorate of dental surgery degree in 1997. She's a member of the American Dental Association, the Georgia Dental Association, the Academy of General Dentistry, the Academy of Laser Dentistry, the American Academy of Dental Sleep Medicine, the American Sleep and Breathing Academy, Georgia Association of Sleep Professionals, International Association of Orthodontics, and the American Orthodontic Society. That's a lot. Get it, girl?
It's a lot.
But that's a lot of education. She is also the member of the finest finest sorority on this planet, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Yes, sir.
A soror.
Yes.
She's a member of the National Coalition of 100 Black Women Incorporated and is the chairperson and on the board of directors for the James M. and Irma T. Fremont Foundation. She is also known on social media as Miss Dr. Lady. And I'll add, she is what I call my forever dentist. And she is my dear, dear friend, Dr. Joy Fremont. Welcome again to the spotlight.
Hey, thank you. I'm so happy. I'm so excited to be here with you.
So Joy, we have known each other since 92 when I transferred to Southern from Cookman.
Yes.
And in that time, I've always known you to be a leader. When I met you, you were leading. You were an organizer. And I was thinking about this morning. I remember you used to always wear those combat boots.
The red ones.
Every day, every time. And we'll say so what funny. We used to call them ass kicking boots.
Yes, sir. But I wasn't kicking ass though. I was just changing.
That's right. That is right. That is right.
That's funny. I remember those boots
all the time. Those are so funny. But you've always been growing up. Have you always taken on leadership roles? Is that your natural tendency?
I think so. And I always say that it's like, that's not really what I intend on doing. It just happens. Mm-hmm. So I have two brothers. I'm the middle child, the only girl. And so I think the boys needed to be led at all times. So I think it just had to happen that way. Uh-huh. They're my practice rounds, So growing up as a middle kid, the only girl, I kind of had to tell them what I wanted to do. And it's time for Barbie dolls and y'all gonna play with me. And we just had to make it happen, So, and then going to a predominantly white elementary school, like being like one of the only Blacks there, had to stand out and make myself known. So it just developed naturally. That's my answer.
So do you think, like where does the motivation, because if it, a lot of times I know you can sit there and say, okay, I don't feel like leading, but if I don't, then it won't happen the way, so where does that motivation come from? Do you think, number one, and do you think it's innate or do you think it can be developed?
I think it's a mix. Mm-hmm. So for me, I have this like a fix it kind of character or personality. I have to fix it. Mm-hmm. And so if I see things that I know what the end goal is supposed to be and I see it's not getting done, I'm going to step up and try to get it done. Mm-hmm. Or something I want, I'm going to get what I want. So I just go for it. And it's like, so I think it's innate, but I think it's hard for me to step back. It really is. So when I see people who I know have the potential, I can do it, like, do it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you're not going to do it. So I do it myself. So I think it's innate. I really do. I think it can be learned. I think it
Uh-huh.
can be developed, but I think
Mm-hmm.
the best leaders are ones that just have it.
Mm-hmm. What would you tell someone who is, they may have skills or tendencies or who want to learn to be a leader? What would you tell them to kind of motivate them to step out and do it?
The best thing for me is to just do it, because I think people who want to lead but don't, I think it comes from a spirit of fear, that they're
Mm-hmm.
afraid to fail, they're afraid to make a mistake, they're afraid to be looked at as being bossy. Well, you're not going to get what you want. So like, just take that first step and just do it. And it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be the leader of an organization. It could
Mm-hmm.
be the leader of your house,
Mm-hmm.
on your job, on a project. You could start small, but you have to just do it.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid for someone to tell you no, because there are ways around no. Even
Mm-hmm.
if you want to be yes, or even if you know that no should be no, try to accept it,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like knowing what you want. If no one else is doing it the way you want it to be done, just doggone
Mm-hmm.
do it, and not being
Right.
afraid to do it.
Yeah.
It's fear, and just try. I don't believe that there are really books to learn how to be a leader, because you already know how to do it. I mean,
Yeah.
they're out there. Yes, you can listen to them to hone the skills you already have, but you have to do it. It's on the ground, boots hitting the ground, walking
Yeah.
and getting done.
Yeah. And, I think part of it also is that comparison. And a
Yes.
lot of times people want to be a leader like someone else
Mm-hmm.
and want to speak in a way that appeases certain
Yep.
people. I think, you definitely have to be considerate and you have to be mindful of your approach, but you definitely need to be able to be authentic, be the leader that you
Exactly.
are, not mirroring
Right.
someone else.
So what I've learned too is that I can't speak to the same, like, different people the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And like for me in my practice, I have 12 staff members. So I know I can't talk to this person like this person, even though the message is the same.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to, you mentioned being, I'm not the nicest person all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And my group speaking is different than my individual speaking. I
Yeah.
say things like, boom, let's do it. I don't have time for that. But after I speak to them as a group, I will come back individually.
Yeah.
Okay, I know I said this, but let's
Mm-hmm.
make sure, so it's different. You have to, it's communication.
Absolutely. And we have some questions a little bit later about your staff, because I've seen you with your staff and I've listened to you and how you communicate to your staff, but I also see you on social media. So I really like and agree with you about how you communicate to your staff and how you communicate to the group and then how you communicate them individually. So we'll definitely get into that. But I wanted to see, with all the accolades, all the responsibilities that I just talked about, you are busy. And from, your social media presence, from going out and testing out restaurants in the city of Atlanta, giving them grades. How do you do it all? So describe for us what a day in the life of Miss Dr. Lady is like. What time do you get up? I'm trying to get some tips because I'm trying to make it all happen too.
Okay. Well, first of all, let me say that I do not believe that as an entrepreneur, there's a thing about balance. Let's just say that it doesn't exist. Okay. It doesn't happen. So for me, I get up every day. I don't care if it's a Sunday or a Tuesday, like 5.
5. Okay.
I'm just an early bird. I do it with no alarm clock.
That's natural.
I'm used to doing it.
Okay.
I get up. I got to get my prayer in. I mean,
yes.
I'm in the bed thanking the Lord, because Lord, you woke me up. Let's go ahead and do this. So I get ready for the day. On a normal day, if it's my seeing the patient's day, I'm at my desk at 6:30.
Okay.
We have morning meetings every morning with the team, every single morning, get things together. I work. And then I generally do not accept meetings, whatever, during the weekday, because I want to focus on my practice, but because of everything else I do, I reserve that for my Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Right. I treat patients Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So people say, oh, you have it made. You work 3 days a week. No, boo, I work 7.5 days a week. I just see patients 3 days
You
a
only
week,
see
right?
me 3 days a week. Yeah.
Exactly. So what I've learned is I have to segment my time,
Mhm.
by being treasurer of the 100 Black Women, then being the chair of the foundation. I do all of them, meaning I don't accept a position if I cannot give 100%.
Mhm.
Just not how I am. And
Mhm.
so what I do is I make sure that I say, okay, on Friday, I'm doing this. I have to literally like lay my day out and say, I'm doing this, boom, 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 and do it till I'm done.
Yeah.
Because if I don't sleep well. If I don't, it's like I have to do it. So I've said no to a lot of things because I know that doesn't fit or align with what I have to do.
That's
And I
it.
know it would take too much time for me to do it, especially like things that I know is like raggedy. And I have to like go in there and lead that. And
Yeah.
if it's not time for me to do that, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
So basically just segmenting my day and then taking a day of, I say rest, but rest to me means do what you want to do. That's not, don't take too much time in your mind.
Yeah. 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 So,
So
it's funny you're saying that because I'm kind of working on developing my routine. And you do have to segment your day. So do you put like in your calendar, do you block out time? Because that's what I'm starting to do. I'm blocking
okay,
out time
so
to make sure I get things done.
my calendar is fake. Like it's so dumb. Like today I put this on here. After that, it's like, okay, so today I'm in the lab today making the mouthwash, right?
Okay.
So I know that when we get done, I'm gonna spend probably 3 or 4 hours doing that. Because this is my day of relaxation, believe it or not, right?
Your manufacturing plant.
My product day, right?
That's right.
But on
Yeah.
the day, I will write it down. I mean, I like pen to paper. I like technology, but I'm pen to paper. So if I'm in the office on a non-patient treatment day, I'm there maybe from 9 to about 6.
Okay.
And I'll say from 10 to 11, I'm doing this. 11 to 12. I literally do it because I can get on one project and stay for 5 hours.
I know.
And I
Me
can stay there. I'm
too.
like, but
And I don't want to leave.
I don't want to leave, right? So if I do it, if I write it down and put it in front of me, I mean, literally put it in front of me and just do it. For one, I feel more accomplished. I've done 15 tasks versus 2. Okay. And then I know that I just move on. So I have to do that. Otherwise, I get it done, but I don't get it done.
And do you, in those times when you're just really focused and you only put an hour for the task and you're like, I want to keep going, do you force yourself to stop or do you move things
absolutely.
around? You do? Okay.
I have to. But sometimes on those days, I will put that on there twice. Like I'll put complete charts. I'll put it from 9 to 10. But then again, from 2 to 3. So I know, okay, don't worry. I can come back later.
Come back to it. Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
So yeah, I have to write it down. Otherwise, it's not gonna get done.
Yeah, yeah.
Or it'll get done later and it'll be, I gotta do it then.
What motivates you to do it all? I mean, to do as much as you're doing, because you have a successful dentist practice. You can just sit on that and have a full and complete life. What motivates you to do all the other things that you're doing?
I don't, it's weird. I'm a workaholic. I will admit to it. I cannot, I don't rest well. Meaning I rest well. I can't stop moving.
Gotcha. Yep.
My motivation is working till you die, and not work to the death.
Yeah.
Moving because there's always so much to do. There's so much out there that I haven't learned that I still want to learn. I want to perfect what I'm doing, even though I know there's no thing. It'll never be perfect, but I want to get to a place where I'm always like, I did it, but what's next? So what's next for me?
Continuous moving. Yeah.
If I don't find fulfillment in that thing, I don't do it anymore. Like, I've had so many businesses. They've all been successful, but I don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Like the t-shirts. Everybody love Ooh La La. They love the rhinestones. I didn't want to I just stopped.
I was just talking about those Ooh La La t-shirts yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, when I was talking to Tanya. Wait, I still got them in my closet.
Exactly. You got I mean, you and I did vendor shows. You were like, come on, girl, we got the sale today. We got to put the backpack on.
That's right.
And I just stopped. It's like, I've done it. I don't do it anymore.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
And that's, that keeps you, it's good. It keeps you busy, but it also, it's a service. I think, there's that servant heart that you have that is like, number one, I have to improve myself in order for me to be
Yes.
better to somebody else. So I think that's really commendable. So I know how important your family is and how integrated they are into everything that you do. So why is that so important for you to have them so involved in business, in the office, in your mouthwash bit, everything that you do? Why is that so important for you?
Well, you know what? I grew up that way. My father being a physician, I grew up working in his office at like 12, doing
Mm-hmm.
billing and doing co-pays then. My
Mm-hmm.
mother was a florist and I worked behind the cash register doing her business, so it's always been family business,
Mm-hmm.
whatever I've ever done. So to me, it was natural that
Gotcha.
we're going to do it here.
Mm-hmm.
So it just so happened that the family that I asked to help was like, so
Yeah.
and then I think it's important too because I can trust them. And if
Mm-hmm.
things go wrong, they understand the vision without me having to re-explain it with every new hire that I have.
Mm-hmm.
And they really have my back. And I know that if something happens, I they got it.
Yeah.
So it's comfortable. And I hear all the time the horror stories about family, but everybody can't work in the family business,
Mm-hmm.
but I still they don't play with me. They know what's up.
Yeah.
They know, look, we're gonna do it this way, chop chop.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's important, it's easy, and they all want what's best for me.
Yeah.
And I don't have a really large family, so it wasn't like everybody. It wasn't the cousins and aunties and
Yeah.
nieces
Yeah.
and nephews, but just knowing what my parents instilled in me and how we
Mhm.
all worked together from day one when I was a child.
Yeah.
Natural for me to do that now.
Yeah, I see that. And it doesn't seem to be a whole lot of egos involved, and because there is love and respect for what you do and who you are. And you just see that in how genuinely happy and supportive they are with
Yes.
everything that you do. Chris is with,
Yeah.
everybody's, no matter what's going on, they're all together. I
He
think
was
that's
folding
awesome.
t-shirts and now he's slinging mouthwash.
That's
Hey, let's
right.
get it. Let's get it.
That's exactly right. So you and I both speaking of your dad, you and I both come from a legacy of strong, community-driven, face-forward Black fathers.
Yes.
I remember the time that we were all at your house. I don't know, it was a cookout or something, and we were all just sitting by the pool. And oh my God, well, first of all, our conversations go from they span the gamut from one thing to the other, and there's
Yes.
no filter. And your dad was there, and I remember thinking, I don't know what we were talking about, and I was like, oh, I can't say it. He was like, girl, that's okay. He know. Your dad was just all in it. He was
All
not.
in it.
He was not. He wasn't flint. He didn't flinch. He didn't bat an eye about that conversation. And I was just thinking, man, how cool is this dude? And
Yeah.
so how much, did your father, you've already kind of talked about working in your father's office, but how much did he influence the person that you are today and what you do and your commitments and things like that?
Everything. Like both my parents went to Southern University,
Mm-hmm.
my dad, being a doctor. I knew I wanted to be a doctor, but I didn't want to
Okay.
be that kind of doctor.
Right.
Like being an OBGYN, no
You
thanks.
didn't want that?
No thanks. No thanks.
Okay.
Well, and it wasn't because of the area of the body that he worked. It was because he
Mm-hmm.
wore a beeper. Remember the beepers?
Yeah.
Right? He wore a pager. Like when the baby was coming, he had to
He had to
go. It
leave.
wasn't like
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was like, nah, I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing him and knowing that he was so accomplished, but he was, like you said, the coolest dude ever,
He
right?
was. Oh my
It's like,
gosh.
how can I be arrogant? There's no way. It's like, I can't. It's like, it's not a gift. It's a gift.
Mm-hmm.
It's a privilege. It's like, I'm not owed this,
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
everything that he did, from the way his bedside manner to the way he treated people and just his whole demeanor, it was just like, you cannot be an asshole, if that makes
Yeah.
sense,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
And
Because
he
people are
told me,
coming to you at the most vulnerable times in their lives.
right. And my dad told me, he said, the two things I remember, he said, you could be the best clinician with your hands, the most skilled, everything. But if you have a really bad bedside manner, you're not gonna last. It
Mm.
doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And then two, the doctors nowadays, he would say, they don't touch the people anymore. They're on
Mm-hmm.
the computers, they're tapping, they're across the room, and they're putting your information and they're getting the answer from a computer.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even know your name. They don't even look up. They don't touch you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Gone are the days where it's spending time talking to the patient, touching them, find out what's going on, and then developing a relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it's insurance driven. Where you have
Yes.
15 minutes to do a whole surgery. That, you know, I'm being dramatic, but that's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned to take my time with people because they come in there, they don't want to come to the dentist. I'm very clear with that. Okay, I get it. They don't want to see me, but while they're there, let's make it a good experience.
Yeah.
And it has to be genuine. I can't turn this on and off. This is me who you see.
Right.
And that was him. Like you said, the way he was by that pool was the way he was in the OR. You know, so and that was him.
Yeah.
I definitely get that from him. For sure.
And you do, you know, as you were talking about it, I was really, you know, I think about all the times that I've been in your office, and it's so relaxing because you meet people where they are. I mean, you and I, you know, in our relationship, you come in, hey girl, what you do? I remember that time I had the first time I had gas.
Oh gracious.
You were like, what's funny? And then you look, you that nothing, right? And you just I mean, it's just, you don't have that. You don't experience that in most situations in a doctor's office, right? And that you didn't do that just because it was me.
Right.
You know, the relationship and how we interacted was because it was me, but I could hear you when you talk to other people. And that is true. You really did take on that. And as you think about and talk about your dad's legacy, what legacy would you like to leave for your nephews, for people you mentor? What legacy do you want to leave?
Definitely never stop learning, for one, and try to be the best at everything you do. Like don't be half-assed with it. I'd rather you tell someone no, you can't do it, than because you everything you do, you affect somebody. From waking up in the morning, right? From driving your car and not hitting somebody. Everything you do affects somebody. So I don't care if you are a gardener, I don't care, you're the president of the world. Be the best at that. And because someone's depending on you.
Yeah.
And that's just
good.
it. Someone's
That's
depending
good. And it's really great because we don't realize the impact that we have, and it's not just the big things that we do, it's the subtle things that we do, that if you don't show up your best in that moment, you can either positively or negatively impact someone's life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great.
Absolutely.
So I really enjoy your social media presence. And it's like every morning I'll see my alerts that I missed through the night, and I'm like, Joy's already posting. And then there's another one like late at night, Miss Dr. Lady post.
What did she post? That's the question. What did she post this time?
So how did you get the name Miss Dr. Lady?
Okay, so I have a dear friend, Clinton Finch, and when, you know, coming out of dental school, and I've always had this young look, right? People like, Miss Freeman, whatever. I was like, no, I'm not. But I've never said, no, call me doctor, you know. It's a joke. It's funny.
Yeah.
But he would come in and say, hey, Miss Freeman, I know him, but he knew that was one of my issues. And so he said, okay, I'm not gonna call you Miss Freeman, and call you Miss Dr. Lady. I said, you know, so whenever you come in and say Miss Dr. Lady, he would say it so loudly, people start saying it. And so I told him, I said, you know what, whenever I get a new car, whenever I buy my next car, I'm gonna put that on my license plate.
Yeah, I remember.
No, you're not. And so I did it, right? And so I just started doing that more and more and more, just writing it down. So then because, you know, 97 seems like it was yesterday, but it really was 30 years ago, right? So there wasn't social media, there wasn't YouTube, there wasn't Google, right? There wasn't any of this. So I said, well, I have to name myself something. And so I can't say Dr. Fremont. I could, but that's my dad. That's
yeah.
So I said, Miss Dr. Lady. They're like, girl, that's ghetto. No, it's not. That's me. That's me, right? So I just did it, and I just kept it going. And so now I just started saying that whatever I do, I miss Dr. Lady.
That's awesome.
Just stuff.
That is awesome. So why is your social media so important to you?
It's because it has to happen. You know, you can fight it. You can say you don't want to deal with it. But if you're in business, you have to have some social media presence. And to me, it makes me touchable.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they say, oh, Dr. Fremont, but I want them to know that I'm a real person. I laugh. I talk like this to my patients, right? I'm not going in there saying, hello, I'm Dr. Joy Fremont. I don't do that. It's me. So when they see me on social media, they can relate to me. You know, people have a fear of the dentist, but I'm talking like real talk on that.
Yeah.
You know, so I want them to see, hey, I can go to her and feel comfortable. I'm someone's auntie, you know, that's my cousin. You know, they talk, they feel okay coming to me. When they come to the office, I'm that same person you saw live 2 hours ago. You know, so it's very important to be you, to draw that person in who may have a fear going to the dentist, because unfortunately that fear is what's keeping someone from being of optimal health.
That's right. Yeah.
So and you know, feel like, okay, I can go there.
And you know, you do a lot of education. So tell me how did that evolve? Because I think it's critical in kind of going against those fear barriers.
Well, I always tell my team now, even to this day, once a month, I say, look, don't forget, talk to people on a 3rd grade level. You have to break it down. So I don't talk to a well-versed person like this. In my practice, they all get the same joy. That's what they're going to get. And so it's important for them to understand, because I can lay out the best treatment plan. You're going to get implants. You're going to get this, you're going to get that. But if they don't understand, they're not going to accept it, or they're going to say I forced them into it, whatever. So when I'm on social media, I try to break down the most complex discussions into a small bite-sized pieces, because if we don't know, we're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Like someone doesn't know that dark spot on the tooth isn't a dark spot. That's a silver amalgam filling you had since you were 10 years old. You know, things like that. So they're wondering, like, why are my gums bleeding? Well, you ain't flossed in 15 years. That's why, you know. So I say it in a way that's easy to understand. So make them say, well, yeah, that is me. More relatable.
I'm shaking my head because your last post with the man biting the apple
and the blood on it, right?
Joy.
So they come to me like, I don't know if my gums are bleeding. Well, okay, so let's go ahead and break this down. When was the last time ? Well, there you go. And that's how I talk to people. There it is. And so, and it's funny because people think that every segment of whatever is trying to rip them off, right?
Yeah.
Once again, I have to put the ownership on the patient. I have to make them understand we're here because of this. Let me fix it, and let me teach you how to not be in this chair again next week.
Right. Yeah.
And that's it.
You got any tips for us today?
Man, what you want to know? Give me a topic. I can spit it out. Give me a topic.
Oral cancer. Explaining the palpations or whatever it's called when you're in our mouth, and I'm feeling okay.
So once again, remember I mentioned the touch, right? Okay, so I have a piece of equipment. It's called a Velscope, and the Velscope is actually a type of light that I can shine in your mouth that will actually show me cells that are precancerous or cancerous, things that are turning that way. But even without that, I can use these hands that the Lord gave me, right, to touch and feel things to see if it's normal or not normal. Like I've seen people don't even have a cold yet, meaning it hasn't manifested to you, but I'm thinking, you know, it's kind of swollen down here. Oh, really? Next week, God, I had a cold. You know, I didn't know. So when I'm feeling in your mouth, things that feel squishy, that aren't supposed to be squishy, things that are hard, or lumps, or even like stones. I can feel saliva stones. I can feel cancer, I guess, if it got to that point. But as I'm touching here, these are your lymph nodes down here. So I'm feeling all those things, trying to find out things that are normal. And normally if you have cancer, you're not going to have it on both sides, right?
Okay.
It's normal here, but abnormal here. Like, hey, what's going on right here? And I have you stick your tongue out. Things that aren't normal to the eye Something's going on there. And it's not always cancerous. The things that are in the mouth, because the mouth is so, I mean, you're biting on hard objects, you're cutting your stuff, your mouth when you're flossing, you're burning your mouth with coffee or pizza burn. So those things, you feel it, but I can actually see it.
See it, yeah.
So when you come in, I don't care if you're getting a filling or a cleaning, I'm looking in there. And most of the times I tell patients, like, I'm the first person to see this.
Yeah.
So trust me when I tell you, this ain't normal. So if and it really gets to me when I see things on patients, I show them in the mirror, I put on a big screen that I have out there. That's nothing. Yes, it is. You know,
right,
so
right.
You come to me for a reason.
Yeah.
Let me treat you, right?
Yeah.
So oral cancer is very prevalent. It's easily misdiagnosed because one, people aren't really going to the dentist like they should be. And no shame to medical doctors, but this is my field. Let me handle this, right?
Right.
They go to their doctor, they'll say, hey, stick your tongue out. Okay, you're gone. And they miss those small, minute details that I can see. So we check for it every time. Yeah. And if your dentist is not checking for oral cancer, say something.
Right.
Hey, doc, you check for oral cancer? Oh, we don't do that around here. You better get your records and go. Okay. Get out of there.
Give them all here. Give them to me right now. Yeah.
Just get it right now. Exactly.
Because I had gone to a lot of dentists who would do the screening, touch around, but it was all superficial, right? And I don't think I had ever gone to one who had the light and, was kind of doing all that. And I was like, what is all of this? But you do. And I think it's important for people to understand, you want to go to a dentist who is up and stays aware and knowledgeable of the latest technology.
Right.
I think that's so important. It's great to have dentists that you've been having for 30 years, 40 years. Your mama went to them, your dad went to them, but are they growing?
And that's the thing. You have to, and there's so much out there. I'm not really into the bells and whistles because there's so much that happens every day in the field of medicine, and you can easily get caught up in buying things that don't make any sense. And especially when COVID hit, there were so many things that were out there to fix COVID, man. So, but you have to stay up on the trends, and I'm a CE junkie. CE meaning continuing education. Like I can get down. Like I love to learn. And so when things come out that would better enhance the practice and better enhance you as a patient, I'm going to do it.
Right. Okay. Earlier we talked a little bit about your leadership style and how you interact with your team. And I don't know, with you, I'm telling a whole lot of stories that link to what we're talking about, because your practice is your the word that came to my mind just now is ministry. But it's also just who you are. And so I remember the time I was in the chair and we were now tell me I could be all wrong with the technical term, but we were doing my x-rays and all of that and checking the depths of the teeth and gum gaps or whatever. And the technician was telling you something about a bite wing and you were like, I don't want the bite wing. And they said something else and she said it again. And you said, all right. And you touched my shoulder. You said, okay, if you give me that bite wing one more time. So you said, if you tell me that bite wing one more time, I don't want the bite wing. I could be wrong in how I'm describing it. But you just tapped me on my shoulder. You said, I'm going to teach for a little bit. And I was like, and being a leader, I understand that sometimes it's in the moment that you have to do the coaching. Right. And you weren't derogatory. You didn't embarrass her. I don't think, but it was in a loving coaching manner. You didn't say, now girl, don't tell me, but you were like, if you tell me that bite wing one more time, I clearly don't want that information. And you took the moment to coach and develop. And for me, I was all over it, not because it was a bad thing, but because you cared about her understanding. And I don't know if you remember that.
I don't. I'm laughing. I can see myself doing that clearly. I feel it. I get it.
So why is it important to you to develop and teach your staff, in the midst of situations like that? You could have waited and gone out and come back, but you wanted, in my view, you wanted her to understand in that moment
Right.
what you needed and to kind of get her attention.
Right, because for one, I work on six operatories, so 6 rooms, and I could have gone on and probably forgotten that. And I can guarantee she would have done it again. I'm like, so I tell my team, and they know it. I do my best to make them better. Okay, I tell everyone when I hire them, whenever you leave me, I want you to leave here better than when you came.
Yeah.
I tell them that. But 2, it's kind of like you're not going to learn later on. You're going to forget that even happened. So I want you to know how I like things done. I'm very systematic when it comes to my practice. Like I don't do things here and here. I'm doing the same way every time unless I change, and we're all going to learn together my new method, right? So the fact that she gave me that, whatever she gave me, that means she didn't understand something. So I need you to understand when I do whatever, this is what I mean. Because she would have learned it the wrong way. And if you're going to learn it the first time, learn it the right way. I don't believe shortcuts. And then I want them to learn. I want them to grow.
Yeah.
Because there will be times when that person, whoever that was, had to train somebody else. If you learn it wrong, you're going to teach it wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get pissed off because how does this happen?
Yeah.
It's all on me. At the end of the day, and I say this to all my business owners, that when something goes wrong in your business or whatever, it's not the person behind the counter they're looking at. They're looking at you. They're going to say, Dr. Fremont's office. They're not going to say, Nicole. They're not going to say Tiana. They're going to say Dr. Fremont, right? So it's a reflection on you. And so when I tap you on the shoulder, I'm saying, look, boo, it's getting ready to go down. Just hold tight, right? And then it all depends on who the patient is. There's sometimes, once again, know who you're in front of, know your audience, right? There's some people who I could never have done that in front of, even if I had said, okay, Mrs. Jones, I'm getting ready to teach right now. Because, so you kind of have to know what's going on.
I love your relationship with your team. I love how you interact with them. And I do believe you can be a leader and you can have fun and you can present your whole self to the people that you work with. So why is that important to you? How did you develop that leadership style and trust that you can be yourself and with your staff, but still because it's a balance, right? Because they need to know that you can get down if you need to, right? We're going to have a good time and I'm going to be over it and move on.
Well, once again, it had to be me, be myself. Then it was very difficult at first when I first got my practice because you're new, you're young, you want everybody to like you. But then I realized that if you try to be too likable, they're not going to respect you.
Yeah,
it's time to be critical, or it's time to discipline, or time to they're not going to receive it the same way. So I had to still be myself, but understand I'm still the boss. So you want everybody to want to come to work, want it to be more than just a job for them, even though you're going to have always those team members who it's just a job for them. But you want longevity. I think as a business owner, the worst thing with everything I do all day is the hiring process. That's just you hate it because you develop and you pour so much into your team members. And then when they leave, they have to replace them. It's the worst thing in the world.
To start all over.
I try my best to develop a good work environment where they enjoy coming, where they don't mind putting 110% in, and then they do it again the next day. Because they had 3 days. Just give me 3 days of just get it in. And then do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Hey, you're out of here, right? So I try to develop a good environment amongst my team members. They really enjoy working, but I don't know what's going on in their heads half the time. I mean, I gotta juggle all that stuff. They have families, just come to work. And they know that about me.
Yeah. But I think it's a testament in the fact that they are involved in some of your other activities. So when you do your race every year, they are there. And so
they love it.
And they love it. And so I think it's a testament to your leadership style and the effectiveness of your purpose and the way that you lead, that they want to be involved in other areas of other things that you're doing. Yes. Because they could easily say, no, that ain't my time. I mean, that's my time. I don't need to do that. But that is a good showing that your leadership style is successful, because they really do enjoy. I mean, when you guys have those games and things on your Fridays, when y'all playing around. I mean,
and we travel, I take them on trips. So, as a thank you. Because they work hard. It's 3 intense days. It really is.
Yeah.
And so, I love on my team, and they know it. And so I tend to incentivize them a lot. And they appreciate it.
Right. And I think, as leaders, it is important to appreciate, and not superficial appreciation.
Right.
It is sincere and doing things that you want to do for someone else. So I think that's really great. So you guys are doing an awesome job there.
Thank you.
Okay, so a few more questions. Leaders aren't perfect, and you kind of alluded to that before. Sometimes we make bad decisions. Kind of go about it. Explain a bad decision. You don't have to go into too much detail if you don't want to. But tell me, a bad decision. How do you recover? What's the learning process in dealing with bad decisions? Because you have decisions every day. I mean,
I know. I'm thinking like, geez, I mess up a lot.
But that's what you have to be okay with, right? Right. As an entrepreneur and a leader.
A lot. And the thing about it is, I'm very well aware that, my husband works with me. And so, I'm the breadwinner. I get it, so a lot is on me, right? And I'm a very fast decision maker. I'm not indecisive. I do it. I make a decision. And sometimes it's the wrong decision.
Okay.
So I have to make up for that. Like, I think, let's say last year, I think a bad decision that I made was I hired a coach and I paid too much for him.
Okay.
And so because I know, golly, I didn't pay too much for this person. So now I'm trying to not make up for it, but make up for it. Meaning I'm doing extra to say, okay, I gotta say, you know what? I said, hey, babe, I messed up. I did. So to me, it's owning up. You have to own up.
Yeah.
When you have others who depend on you, rely on you, for one, they're looking at you to say, hey, did she know she just messed up? Did she see that? Right? And I own it.
Yeah.
Because by leading a team, we all make mistakes all day. And I tell everybody, look, if you broke something, just tell me. The worst thing for you to do is lie about it and not own up to it.
Yep.
So I have to be the same way. I messed up. I'm owning up to it. Then let's fix it. And I do it every day. I tell my staff, if you're gonna be loud and wrong, be loud and wrong. Just. But we don't progress because we're afraid to fail.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have to make huge decisions, and sometimes they're wrong. And going into it knowing that you may not make it, but at least you tried. You're gonna do it. As long as ain't nobody die out of it, we good.
Right. I used to tell my team, I don't mind a mistake.
Yes.
It's a learning opportunity, but be able to explain to me the factors that went into your decisions.
Like a mama now. See, I don't do all that. To me, it would come out as now. Why'd you do that? I couldn't say that as eloquently as you did.
Well, and the reason is I want to understand so I can help you in your decision making, to be able to say, okay, I get how you can make that decision. I get all these facts that are but think about it this way.
You're so nice.
You're so funny.
I promise you mine would not have come out that way.
But it would have been,
Understand, though.
but it's natural for you, so it would have come out and they would have received it the right way. If I would have said that, they would have thought I was mean, I was mad because of the personalities. And that's why I say it's authentic leadership, right?
Okay, you're right.
Because
Right.
it is all based on who you are. And no one would have, they wouldn't take fault or feel bad about you saying it that way, because that's authentic to you. You said it and move on. I say it.
What you gonna do now? You broke it. Now I gotta go buy another one. But before I leave, what happened?
Yeah.
Right. So I got to know.
Absolutely. So at here at One True North, our mission is to help others realize the vision of their true self. So describe to me what your vision is for your true self, your innermost self. What do you see yourself as? What's the vision that you have?
I definitely, without a doubt, see myself as a true leader. I really do. And as a keep it moving person, meaning I mess up a lot and I internalize that, but I don't let the outside world know that I'm internalizing it, because what you see is me trying to get better. So I think that the true Joy Fremont is the keep it moving person who is not going to stop until she feels like stopping on my terms. And that's just, I know it sounds weird.
No.
But that's just me. I'm gonna keep it going, and I think that came from my dad. My dad always said, "Keep it moving," and I do.
Well, okay. So you mentioned just now about internalizing, because we're all human, and you do have those inner feelings and inner doubts and things. So, what are the things that that kind of that you have turmoil about internally? What are some of your self-limiting beliefs? And more importantly, how do you overcome those to keep it moving? Because things happen and you have to come in at night and kind of assess how your day went, assess how a project went. How do you take those things that could beat you up and flip them and say, all right, I'm keep moving?
Well, I'm so non-competitive. Like I don't compete. I would rather bring everybody along with me. Let's all win together. But I like to win, meaning in my own head. Like I'm looking right now at this light coming off and on, and it's bothering me. So now I guess what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna buy a ring light. Like that's bothering me. And I promise you, when I say I'm gonna buy a ring light, so my next thing, that's what I internalize on. I look at mistakes right then and try to fix it.
Yes.
And if I cannot fix it, I say, okay, somebody else needs to help me. Right. So like I give you an example, like if someone happens to quit, a staff member, even though they could be the worst person, I want to win by firing you. You're not going to quit on me, right? So, right? It sounds dumb, but it's like I lost because you didn't give me a chance to fire you. You quit, right? So now I'm wondering why she quit. Like, what is it about me that made you quit, even though you suck as an employee, right? So it's like I have the why. I have to get down to the why about everything that's negative. Like I have to figure out what happened so I can not let it happen again. Like I'll ask the team members, like, what was it? And then like, oh, she moved out of town, whatever, whatever it is, or she didn't like how you did whatever. So I know how to approach different things. So to me, it's the why.
So do you, in order to not go down a rabbit hole of, why, do you get that answer, or do you get it enough or get to a point where you say, okay, well, I've checked myself. I know I didn't do it. I don't feel I did anything. I'm going to move on.
No, I don't go on feelings. I have to find out why.
Okay.
I have to find out. And not just that, for everything that I care enough about to know, because I need to know what not to do next time. Because I want to keep going, but I don't want to keep going on that path to get to that obstacle. I want to make sure if that happens again, I know how to fix that or
that's good.
go around it.
Yeah, that's real good. So what would you tell your 18-year-old self? Give me like 2 or 3 things
Girl,
that you would tell your younger self, knowing what you know now.
in what department? Boys, relationships, you want business, what you want? Because I
Whatever slowed you down from whatever you hesitated on from being the person you are today, or what you feel you have accomplished today.
okay, so 18, I was in college. I was already there. So let me see. Everyone's not gonna like you.
Mm,
Be okay with it.
that's great.
Be okay with it. That was huge for me.
Mhm.
Trying to like everybody like me. Do whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
Don't try to please everybody else. Do what
Mhm.
makes you happy because girl, you're 18.
Mhm.
You have a
Mm.
long way to go.
Yes,
You're just
yes.
18. Just don't be foolish with it.
Mhm.
So I
That's
think those two things, because at that age, it's all here. I
mhm.
think 18-year-olds, we lead with this thing that fails us a lot.
Yeah.
We don't lead with this.
Mhm.
And so if we can fix this,
Yeah.
then we're a lot, we'll be better. Oh, I
That's
would have been better.
yeah.
I would not date that dumb boy. Right? I would take a different class and what
Mhm.
the others told me to take, so
Mhm.
a lot of it had to do with this.
Yeah.
If I could have had this right,
Mhm.
I would have been better.
That's awesome. Yeah. So tell us, as we're closing, what's next for Miss Dr. Lady's world?
Whoa. Okay. So
Well,
I
tell us what
really
you already have now, because we
right.
need to
So the beginning of this year, I launched the Miss Dr. Lady product line. Yay! Yeah, yay! So I finally launched my own mouthwash. So mouthwash. And
Mhm.
so now I am developing products to go along with that family. So I'm putting together different kits, like a travel kit to go along with it. I'm getting things manufactured, like my own tongue scrapers and own line of toothbrushes. So I'm doing all of that to make it happen because listening to gurus, oh, do this, let it sit. I ain't got that much time.
Mhm.
Look, right? So I'm trying to, I don't, because I heard you earlier about not, I don't think I'm an old head, but you don't want to get old. I want to leave in my prime.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would like to develop this line of products so it can take me into my retirement phase.
yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
I can let that roll. I
Mhm.
can do business with my eyes closed.
Mhm.
I got it. I can do
Mhm.
that, but I want to have something to do that I don't have to slave over, like
Yeah.
because it's a then as your back starts to hurt.
Mhm.
These
I didn't
fingers.
realize that until, oh my gosh, I didn't realize
Just think
that.
about it. I'm leaning over for hours working on
Mhm.
very small things that are this big, right? So,
Yeah.
and then hearing all these the drills so my ears, so I'm doing something different now
Yeah.
that will help me to transition.
That's beautiful.
And
Yep.
so, so the Miss Dr. Lady product line is developing. That's what I'm doing right now in the lab
In the
today.
lab working.
In the lab.
That is
I'm
awesome.
excited about it. I really am. I'm so excited.
I am excited for you. And it's all full circle for me observing from this perspective, because you push good quality products and services and things of that nature through your business. So we had the other product, we had tongue scrapers, all those types of things, but then for you to say, wait a minute, I know enough about this. I've developed my own education about this to where I'm going to do it myself. And it's the building of the trust that says, whatever Joy's making, I'm there for it.
And that honestly was the fear. You know,
Really.
I say you don't work in fear, but I'm like, okay, what if no one likes it? So I should have done this long time ago. It's
Yeah.
like if it don't work, just change the formula, whatever.
Uh-huh.
So that's what actually stopped me. And that's just me being very transparent of
Yeah.
not doing it sooner. It's like looking at what are others going to think. I'm like,
Mm.
you know what? My mom was like, "Girl, just do it. If they don't like it, make another one." But it's not you, mommy. It's me. So Yeah, I'm doing it and just make it happen.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So how can people connect with you?
Man, Miss Dr. Lady. So I realized this on a side note. I said, okay, to me, it's Miss Dr. Lady. People were typing MS, DR, so I had about all those domains. But anyway, so it's Miss MISS Doctor spelled out lady, MissDrLady.com. Of course, my last name is Fremont. So, or you can go Fremont Dental. So I have both things, but they're all one.
Mm-hmm.
So MissDrLady.com, that's my website. Miss Dr. Lady is my handle on Instagram and Facebook. And you can just find me right there. It's easy.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Joy. This has been such an honor. I'm so happy. We've had such a great time. This
Yes,
is
as always. I'm so
as
proud of you too and one true north. I see
thank you.
you doing it. You're doing
Thank
it.
you. You know how you said you should have done this a long time ago? I had this idea. I'm sure I've talked to you about it as well. I've had this idea for 30 years. 30 years? At
And I
least
saw you
25.
change your name on Facebook. I mean, you did it, and I'm like,
Mhm.
what you gonna do? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
It
Let's do
was
it.
it was the same thing, fear. It was the same thing,
Just keep
fear.
going.
Yeah. And you said exactly right. You just do it. The people who need it will find you, and just keep being true to you. So
Exactly.
yeah. So you've
I'm
been
proud
doing
of you,
that.
my sister.
I am
I'm
so
proud of
proud
you.
of you too. And I'm going to continue to buy and pub whatever I can. I'm gonna go in this week and make an order of my
Yeah.
triple mint. And
Triple mint.
I
Burn your mouth
love,
out.
I love brushing with it.
That's what I do. I actually brush with it.
I
And
love
when I
that.
do that, it tends to last a lot longer. It gets into all
Yes.
the tissues in your mouth. And so, matter of fact, let me write that down. I'm gonna do a post today. There
Yes.
you go. It's really good. It's very refreshing and it's all natural. So
That's right. And
I
it
love it.
doesn't burn. It's it's
Mhm.
it's a refreshing sensation and it's cleansing.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I love it. I love it. I used it
Thank
this
you for
morning.
supporting me. I really appreciate you. You've always
Absolutely.
been so supportive of me. I'm so grateful to have you in my life. I
You
really am.
too. Same here. And I'm watching it. And I said it was the end, but I do want to talk about one thing. It's important to have community.
Yes.
It's also so important to have people around you who have their own vision and path that they are going. If you're around people who don't, they're going to start either holding you back, start feeling, some kind of way about your movement,
Yep.
which will hold you back and it will prevent you from being what you need to be. So I just really thank you, because you're one of the people in my inner circle who I know I can look at and say, okay, she's doing it. And you just need people like that.
You do.
You need people like that around you because you need to pull each other
You
and
do because it's the higher up you go, the lonelier it's going to get.
yeah,
Because you said it 100%. That's correct. You have to be around people who are progressively moving this way,
yeah.
not on a plateau and
Mm-hmm.
not going down.
That's right.
It's
Yeah.
fine to call them every once in a while.
Yeah.
Don't make that be your all
Yeah.
because they can't. And someone told me it's like it was last month that we go to our friends or even our family for advice just to bounce off their heads. But you're bouncing ideas off someone's head who's never been there.
And don't have the motivation to go
They
there.
don't, and it's not no fault against them.
Mm-mm.
They have no idea what you are talking about.
That's right. They can't give you advice.
All I can do for you is say, hey, look at this product. How does that look to you?
Yeah.
Just tell me how it looks.
How does
As
it
a
make you feel?
consumer,
Yeah,
how does
exactly.
it look? Can you
Yeah, yeah.
taste this, please?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't go to them about the chemicals or the ingredients or the business part, and no fault.
Mm-hmm.
When I did my beta testing, I just did it to my people who just taste this
Mm-hmm.
because you are the consumer.
That's
So
right.
everyone has a position in your life, and I'm not saying that
Mm.
for anybody else.
Mm-mm.
You know me. We can kick it, and you know how we kick it.
Yes.
We don't go to the highest of the. We don't do
No.
all that. We
No.
get down, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying is, when it comes to your business progressing, just be mindful of who you trust with your ideas
That's true.
and your heart as well, because everyone doesn't have the best interest and everyone can't understand what you're doing.
That's so true. They can't see your vision because
They
it's not
can't. And
theirs.
it's okay.
And it is. It is.
Once
it is
again, like I said earlier, be okay with it.
Yeah.
Just don't
Yeah.
ask them.
That's right. Yeah.
Don't ask them again.
Just sit back and watch. You know, sometimes that just sit back. Just sit over there. And you know, you just need people who are going to keep it honest and keep you on target.
Yes.
And kick you in the butt when you need to. You know, because I know
Absolutely.
sometimes I talk to, okay, now what we doing? All right.
Exactly.
Okay, when we doing this?
Or my husband, he's like, I promise you it was 2 weeks ago. I made a batch. And he's like, yeah, I need to refill. So I went ahead and he's like, what's this? He said, this is not right.
Yeah.
I said, what? And I tasted it and I said, oh my God, I got so-and-so. So it just so happens, you know, he understands. He's not a yes man saying, girl, that's the best.
Right.
Like, don't you put that in those bottles? That's
right.
not right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you have to have someone who is down with you.
That's
who
right.
can check you and be like, no, girl,
No.
that's not right.
This ain't what we doing.
And it's okay.
That's right.
Once again, it's okay.
Go on back and fix that and come back and let me taste it again.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Joy, thank you so much, my dear. It was a pleasure. I'm so glad you were able to do this with me. And I love you, and
Always.
all the best to you and your businesses. Tell the mama I said hello.
And tell your mama I said, what's up, Frankie?
I sure will.
I love you, Bob.
Yeah, she's doing good. She's doing really well. So we're keeping things going over here. So
well, thank you for having me. I'm so honored.
Thank you. Oh no.
I mean that. I am.
No, we're you know, we are all, we have a good crew of people who are doing good things and doing it for the right reason. So I think that's God-centered and ordained. So I really appreciate that. So
well, I'm honored. Look, my husband is tiptoeing around. He gonna start talking in a minute. So
hey, Chris.
But thank you again.
All right. Take care.
You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.